Financial challenges are a universal reality, shaping lives from Tokyo's neon-lit streets to Rome's cobblestone pathways. But today, the spotlight shifts closer to home, right here in the United States. As 2025 approaches, a startling revelation looms. 7 states are on the verge of financial collapse. This isn't just a headline, it's a call to action. These aren't abstract statistics, they're communities, businesses, and livelihoods hanging in the balance. What's driving these states to the edge? A perfect storm of plummeting tax revenues, ballooning expenditures, and waning federal support. Each state's story is unique, yet they're united by the threads of a shared fiscal crisis. Let's explore the complexities behind this alarming trend and uncover the urgent steps needed to address it before it's too late. Number 7. Minnesota. Known as the land of 10,000 lakes, Minnesota also carries a hefty state debt of $17.75 billion as of 2022. This marks a significant increase from $5.6 billion back in 2000. Despite the intimidating debt figure, Minnesota's financial health isn't entirely bleak. The state boasts $43.9 billion in assets against $28.9 billion in liabilities, leaving a surplus of $14.9 billion, roughly $6,500 per taxpayer. Additionally, Minnesota's current budget surplus of $2.4 billion for 2024-25 indicates a relatively stable short-term outlook. However, future uncertainties loom large. The state faces potential risks tied to fluctuating revenues and rising costs, akin to having a cushion now but not knowing if it will endure. Number 6. Kentucky. Kentucky's financial situation is like walking a tightrope in a storm. The state holds $23 billion in assets but faces $42.5 billion in bills, resulting in a $19.5 billion shortfall. To cover this gap, each taxpayer would need to contribute approximately $13,200. Despite these daunting numbers, Kentucky's economy has shown resilience. Record-breaking private sector investments over the last 4 years have paved the way for significant economic transformation. However, the state's plan to reduce individual income tax from 5% to 4% by 2024 raises questions about funding essential programs. Furthermore, the small town of Sturgis faces potential bankruptcy, adding another layer of complexity to Kentucky's fiscal woes. Number 5. Iowa. Iowa's economy relies heavily on agriculture and manufacturing, making it vulnerable to market fluctuations and environmental factors. In 2023, Iowa's GDP stood at $197.8 billion, reflecting a 5.7% growth since 2020. However, this growth hasn't been without challenges. The unemployment rate rose slightly to 2.9% in September 2024, hinting at potential instability in the job market. Iowa's fiscal stability ranks 12th among states, but upcoming tax reforms, such as a flat 3.8% income tax rate by 2025, could jeopardize this standing. While the new tax structure aims to attract businesses, it risks reducing state revenues, potentially impacting public services and infrastructure investments. The state's reliance on manufacturing as a primary income source further compounds the risks, as any downturn in this sector could ripple through the economy. Number 4. Idaho. Idaho, celebrated for its scenic landscapes and agricultural productivity, faces significant financial hurdles. The state's economy has been growing steadily, supported by its natural resources and a burgeoning technology sector. However, Idaho's reliance on agriculture makes it vulnerable to environmental changes and market volatility. Additionally, population growth has strained public services and infrastructure. While sectors like technology and manufacturing have diversified the economy, managing this growth sustainably remains a challenge. Rising housing costs and living expenses have increased pressure on residents, and adverse weather conditions or market disruptions could derail the state's economic progress. To ensure stability, Idaho must adapt its fiscal policies and address these vulnerabilities. Number 3. Hawaii. Hawaii, often seen as a paradise, hides a brewing financial storm beneath its picturesque beaches. The state's economy heavily relies on tourism, a double-edged sword. While tourism brings in significant revenue, global disruptions such as pandemics can devastate the economy. Nearly half of Hawaii's population teeters on the edge of poverty, exacerbated by a high cost of living and limited economic mobility. In 2023, Hawaii's GDP reached $101 billion and is projected to grow to $118 billion by 2025. But these figures mask the struggles of many residents. Labor shortages and a declining population further complicate the state's challenges. Despite modest growth in GDP and a forecasted drop in unemployment to 2.7%, Hawaii's financial reality remains far from idyllic. The state must navigate these obstacles carefully to secure a stable future. Number 2. Delaware. Delaware, the second smallest state in the U.S., is renowned for its business-friendly laws and corporate presence. However, its financial health tells a more complex story. Delaware's economy heavily depends on the financial services sector, leaving it susceptible to national economic trends. The state's small size limits economic diversification, making it vulnerable during industry downturns. Rising income inequality and a shrinking middle class add to the challenges. Although Delaware's GDP is expected to grow, efforts to attract new industries and diversify the economy are still in progress. Balancing its budget and addressing these disparities will be crucial for Delaware's financial stability in the years ahead. Number 1. California. California, the Golden State, struggles with significant fiscal challenges. In the 2023 to 2024 fiscal year, the state faced a $27 billion deficit, which ballooned to $55 billion in 2024 to 2025. Despite these staggering numbers, the state has barely tapped into its reserves. Projections for 2025 to 2026 show a smaller $2 billion shortfall, but experts warn against adding new programs. California's long-term debt exceeds $500 billion, making it the most indebted state in the nation. This fiscal strain is compounded by a high cost of living, with over 60% of households earning less than $35,000 struggling to make ends meet. While the state's GDP and tech-driven economy offer some resilience, its financial health requires immediate and decisive action to avert further deterioration. As we've seen, these 7 states face distinct yet interconnected financial challenges. From rising debts and tax reforms to economic vulnerabilities and labor shortages, their paths forward will require careful planning and strategic interventions. For residents and policymakers alike, understanding these fiscal realities is the first step toward crafting sustainable solutions. The road ahead is steep, but with resilience and proactive measures, these states can work toward securing a more stable financial future. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.